Hello guys, I'm Captain Dave Folio with the City of Scottsdale Fire Department. Welcome to episode 8 of Fire Watch. This is going to be our video podcast. We're going to attempt to do this. I'm joined today by a special guest, Dave Ramirez. He's our Wildland coordinator, specializes in fuel mitigation, and we're going to talk about some of the projects we've got going on in the city right now currently. And guys, we're at ground zero of the Diamond Fire. If you guys remember June 27th, 2023, about 4 in the afternoon, 2 hours later than this, hot, probably 116 that day. Winds were coming out of the southwest, going to the east. We got a report of a fire right here. Crews arrived on scene, had 5 to 10 acres well involved. And I remember being at my wife's birthday at Scottsdale Road, and Frank Lloyd Wright getting ready to sit down and eat, and this call went out, and I went outside and I said, oh no, it's going to be a long couple days. So and then had to advise her that I had to leave. So I'll never forget doing the phoner coming up here. If you guys remember, I was on 3, 10, 12. They were all talking about how long it was taking for the VLATs to get here, and I kind of talked people through of, hey, that takes time to order. And because of the relationships we build with guys like this who used to work with Tano, he'll tell you a little bit about his background, but we actually got those assets really quick, because if you see behind us, or we'll show you a video later, but those homes, there's probably 15 to 20 homes with an immediate exposure with the fire going that way. 5 to 12 acres involved when the first units got here. So yeah, welcome Dave. Let's talk about some of the projects we've got going on, and I'll show some of the video and some of the pictures that we just took over at our project over off of Cave Creek. But those guys are working, and you can hear in some of the video I'll show you, it is loud behind us. So but yeah, yeah, welcome. Let's talk about fuel mitigation and what you do in the city of Scottsdale.
Okay, so you know, I worked for the Forest Service, and then 3 years ago I retired, and you know, I reached out to the city of Scottsdale, and Tom Shannon, the fire chief there at Scottsdale Fire, and you know, I asked him if there was any opportunities to hire a old retired wildland fire guy,
an old Wildfireland guy that's always in the gym an hour after me. So just let's just make that clear right now. So
and you know, Tom really had an interest in utilizing my skill sets, and so that's kind of where it started. As soon as I was in place, you know, we started talking about, you know, some of the threats to our city, and you know, I told him it's like, really, we have been very lucky that we haven't had a big catastrophic fire in Scottsdale. Lots of fuels here, and you know, we there was just a lot of you know, a lot of opportunity, I think, to you know, get some federal grants and state and federal grants and county grants, and do some work here in Scottsdale. And that was the springboard for really where we are today. We've got a lot of projects going. We've done a lot of work in North Scottsdale, and you know, we also have you know, done some collaborative projects with the city of Phoenix, you know, on some lands that we felt were maybe a threat to the city of Scottsdale. And so we're doing some of those collaborative projects with the federal and state and other municipalities. So it's pretty cool. We got a lot of neat stuff.
Yeah, let me for the customer or the citizen that's listening, let me describe a little bit about what fuel mitigation is. Like, so you heard me preaching on that fire going up. I was mentioning you doing some fuel mitigation projects out here along 136th Street, just north of that area, along this area a little bit. And then it's basically, we're asking you to clear a 30 to 15 foot defensible space around your home. We're asking you to lower your branches 3 to 5 feet off the ground. We're not asking you to cut down a brand new big, you know, green tree. If you have any dead shrubs, get rid of those, clear them out. You'll see these big tumbleweeds start to gather. Get those out of your yard. Just give us a chance, like we had a chance when we got here on some of these horse properties that you see where the VLATs were coming in. They were laying down the slurry, and they had like 100-foot you know, defensible space for us. So and then, you know, on some of those pictures you saw during the, and where were you during the Diamond Fire, by the way? Were you on another fire?
Yeah, I was in California.
But you were calling, making sure that we were taken care of here in Scottsdale, right?
That's
I remember hearing something like that.
Yep.
So all about building relationships. But anyways, some of these horse properties, you know, you saw the horses running up and down. That was the best place for them to be, because sometimes you say shelter in place is the best place. They had a huge arena they were running in. They weren't immediately threatened, probably super scared by this very large airplane flying 50 feet off the ground and dumping this slurry and taking off. But other than that, it was pretty remarkable. The men and women of the Scottsdale Fire Department answered the call that day. We have 3 brush trucks out roaming the area, and basically it was 5 to 10 acres when they got here, going quickly to the east. And so we were able to deploy some bump and run techniques that we actually started using 3 years ago, I think, working with Tano and some of the crews up there, and then implemented hose loads onto our trucks. So just the part of the collaborative effort when, we quickly went to a first alarm on that fire with the automatic aid partners that we have. Rio and Rural Metro was a mutual aid request because they're right up the street. Phoenix, Tempe, all of them sent units, and then all of a sudden Arizona State Land showed up and forestry and took it over from us. But that's what fuel mitigation is. You'll see some of these pictures where you'll see these crews working and they're just thinning out the brush. And Dave goes in before and marks it, how far back he thinks it should be, because he's the specialist. He knows, he's been there. And so that's what we're doing on those roadways. So we're finishing up a project on Cave Creek right now, and then you'll see us moving over to Scottsdale Road. We talked about off camera a little bit about why would you do a treatment on the west side when it's Phoenix, and that is just part of why.
Well, we kind of look at our predominant winds and the fuels.
Yeah.
And we had a situation in adjacent to Scottsdale on the jurisdiction of Phoenix.
Yeah.
And so I applied for a grant, got crews, did a collaborative project with the city of Phoenix and our utility partners, because we could tie into some of their control features and their power line corridors.
Yeah.
And we did a 4.5 mile stretch from Jomax all the way to the 101, and really kind of locked in that little corner. And now it's much safer for firefighters to get in there and actually be able to stop a fire.
Yeah, you hit a couple points right there. Safer for firefighters because, one, you're going to give us a chance to, if we get a cigarette out the window and it starts something really light on the roads. So so we'll circle back to that. And then infrastructure, you talked about it, power lines, right? Like going in and making sure our infrastructure in our city is protected, and that's the big part of the fuel mitigation and selecting these areas. So if we do have a fire on that west side, it's Phoenix, but we don't want it jumping over our side of the road. Same thing we did on 136th Street, right? Where if it starts in the morning on Rural Metro side or Rio Verde side, we don't want that jumping over into our preserve. That's our preserve that has over 1,000 species. Even where this fire is at today, where we're sitting, we're basically right around where this fire started, and then it moved another 1,900 acres that way over the night, and they were able to get a perimeter around it. And but it moves quickly, and those defensible spaces are so important. Let's come back to some of the grants and how you get the grants. That is on Cave Creek. Did you mention that? How we use and utilize those grants?
Well, no, I mean that is a funded grant project. It's a Healthy Forest Initiative grant through the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management, and municipalities can apply for those grants. But also communities can.
Yeah.
DC Ranch here in North Scottsdale, they recently got an HFI grant, and we've been doing some collaborative projects with them, and it's just outstanding. It's a way for a community to get these grant dollars and do some really necessary work, to protect those communities.
Yeah, a lot of the work we're going to start doing, we're going to put up these A-frames that are mentioning that our crews are working ahead of you, fire crews, just so people know that it's us out working and thinning this brush. We're also going to try to put out a QR code that people can stop if they have questions. They can hit the QR code with their phone, and it'll take them to a link. But if you have other questions about our fire mitigation process, it's all on our social media sites. So City of Scottsdale, and then Scottsdale Fire, at Scottsdale Fire for YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So I encourage you to go on there, find out more information about it. And Firewise, let's talk about Firewise in our community. We're, and the municipalities, we're one of the only municipalities I know in the area that's doing fuel mitigation, because while it's not the most highlighted or you're the superstar of the day, you're the guy behind the scenes really making it safer for the infrastructure, the firefighters, the citizens, the people that live in these communities, so we can get them back into their homes quickly if we do have a fire. It's like that logistics guys that they open, they show up a month ahead, they do all the work, and then I show up and I'm like, oh, we get to work here, and it's all ready to go, and we leave, and they're 4 months after cleaning the place up. So the work you do is amazing. But yeah, so what else would you like to add?
Well, I would just say, you know, if you have any questions at all on grants and opportunities, the FireWise program, you know, reach out to us, Scottsdale Fire, and you know, we'll get you the information that you need and point you in the right direction. And we can even give you information on, you know, these grants and where you go to be able to apply to those grants.
So people have this false impression we've had a wet winter, right? We are not going to be in a fire season. My grandpa's, you know, like, oh, it's not going to be, it's all wet this year, nothing's going to burn. Well, the mountain's green, but guess what? In another month, it's going to be brown. It all dies, trust me.
Right.
And then even looking out here where this place was decimated, it shot through here 1,900 acres, there's already these flash fuels and little weeds and grasses that are coming up all over this land. So it's like, that's got to be false, right?
Well, you know, you're right on. It's really funny because it's the exact opposite of what you would think. You know, when it's wet, everybody thinks, oh, we're not going to have a fire season. You know, we're getting moisture. Like you say, it's the exact opposite. It grows all these fine fuels. You know, this Sonoran Desert, it's not a fire adapted system. It never evolved with fire. We've got all these invasive grasses and weeds, and boy, when you have a big wet winter or a real heavy monsoon season, it really grows a lot of this fine fuel, and like you say, it dries out, and that's when, you know, things are primed for big fires.
Yeah. So a lot of construction around us, right? A lot of we came out initially on this diamond fire and said it was human caused, you know, accidentally started by a spark. Just want to remind people, when you go through the permit process, you're given a sheet talking about if you're going to be welding or cutting rebar in the desert. I just wish we could send this to every single construction company out here, because you got to have a hose line in place, you got to have a fire extinguisher close by, and just be really like aware of your surroundings and be responsible. We're on such precious land out here with the preserve behind us with the 1,000 species in it, and then homes like these. Some of these homes back there were old ranch homes where we only lost one unattached structure, which just shows the work that we've put in, the training, the collaborative effort, working with state, Tano, and everybody involved to keep that fire out of those homes. And then those heavy aircraft that came in and saved our booties was amazing. But just the professionalism from all the firefighters that were on that day, the men and women that just worked tirelessly through the night just to get a perimeter around that thing was amazing. But yeah, if you're a construction company, just, you know, tell your people, have a hose line in place. We understand it. If you have to clear some brush away to do your work, but really pay attention. You know, don't turn your back on where you were doing the work, because that's you know what usually happens. You turn your back and you look back and it's 10 acres and you're like, where'd that come from? So yeah, be really careful, be safe. It's going to be, like you said, I think it's going to be an active summer for us. We're going to have some fires. But yeah, what else would you like to add for the fire mitigation part of it?
I think that's about it. You know, great messaging, and I would just say, you know, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. We're happy to work with your community, or, you know, if we can answer any questions. If you're a construction company and you have questions, we have lots of flyers, things you can do to kind of, you know, reduce that risk of starting a fire if you are, you know, doing some kind of construction, you know, when it gets hot in the summer.
Yeah, and if you're on an HOA and you're part of a community and you're not FireWise, shame on you, because especially in Scottsdale, because we're giving you the opportunities, the tools, the training to be a FireWise community. So please be a FireWise community. We'll come in and help you with that. We've got people that'll come in and talk to your board. So just encourage you to do that. And you know, like I said, you're doing great work. So yeah, thank you for joining us on episode 8. And once again, go to Scottsdale Fire, at Scottsdale Fire for Scottsdale Facebook, and Scottsdale Fire Instagram, and give us a like. And thanks for joining us.
Have a good day.